city. And we have achieved decent results. We have a 7% reduction in road traffic accidents in total. And on stretches where there were issues with a road surface, there were also good results. And we had up to 20% reduction in drunk driving accidents. That is probably due to the stricter measures. Yes, that is in part due to that. And we will have achieved the targets set by you. And the quality of roads is, of course, a great contributing factor. Now we're working with the federal target construction program. We have analyzed the situation in the country. We have an overview of all the construction sites, and we will have soon adopted a 5-year program for all capital construction projects. Thanks to your letter and your decisions issued a year ago, we have up to 220 billion more in funding this year, which is proving a huge assistance. And the investment and construction cycle has been accelerated. 12 federal laws have been adopted since the start of the year. This means that we have been able to cut the investment cycle by dozens of procedures. So we're very grateful to you for these steps, for the streamlining of laws, and the regions are now collaborating closely with us to make sure that this is put to full use. And investment and loan programs for the regions have been adopted, and even considering the changed macroeconomics. Here you have 500 billion on the first stage. Yes, and then you added another 900. Now we have a trillion. And even with all the restrictions, all the regions have reviewed their projects, and all these projects are now in construction. So there is no doubt that this will also fully reach its targets. So there are many items of infrastructure, such as the roads and other parts of the transport network. And I would also like to propose the master concept for developing the city of Mariupol. This here is a brief summary. The full version is 100 pages long, and it's quite comprehensive. According to this plan, we would be able to restore the city in 3 years. We've also outlined our ideas on the construction of residential multi-apartment buildings. And so this year, 90 facilities of social infrastructure will be restored. And we've outlined the progress up to 2030. We've changed the initial borders by including the airport near the city. And we have revamped the transport network. We have envisaged restoring the tram system and are planning to make a transport interchange hub where the station is now located. We have reworked the historical part of the city, and on the whole, we're planning to hold engineering infrastructure contests and competitions so that worthy providers are able to provide their solutions. The Azovstal district is also considered for various restoration procedures. There is a lot of work to be done to clean this. Well, I suppose the authorities didn't plan to do anything of that ever. Well, now we have such plans, We have architectural and aesthetic considerations taken up, and we hope that we will be able to review this jointly with the DPR leadership and with the local residents. Yes, I know that we have provided assistance to the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics in accordance with our international obligations, and especially since we have undertaken the special military operation, but it is, of course, something where we have a lot of costs, but those costs are first of all borne by the people who have to have decent infrastructure and decent social infrastructure as well. And the residential parts of those cities need to be up to mark. So please work with the People's Republics to make sure this is happening, especially since we have a warm summer, but winter is not very far, so people need to be confident that they will have somewhere to live and will be able to live in a decent environment. As to social infrastructure, the leadership of the Donetsk People's Republic said it is willing to help us build the multidiscipline medical center in Mariupol and a natal center in Donetsk, because the maternity hospital in that city has been destroyed. So we need to work closely with the governments of the Republic to make sure that this is done in the next year or two. And as to the multidisciplinary medical center, this can be overseen by the Federal Medical and Biological Agency. They have their own plans that have already been approved. They constructed such a center in Yalta. So I think we can do the same at another venue. And how long will that take? Well, I do not think that will be long. As to Mariupol, the design is already prepared. We're now adapting it to the local conditions. As to Donetsk, we will be prepared to launch it by the end of 2023. Well, we have a standard perinatal centers all across Russia, so I don't think that would be particularly difficult. We just need to make linkages with the architectural environment and all the local infrastructure. And that's also a chance to use modern standards as it's a new building. Yes, all this will be done. Let me also say a few words about our general approaches to building housing construction projects. We have reviewed the current buildings, and we will try and restore and renovate the buildings that are still standing, and those that are damaged beyond repair will be constructed anew. And we propose that we issue housing certificates to people who lived in the houses, and so that they are able to have a preferential treatment in acquiring new housing. We also agreed to provide 6,000 rubles to repair apartments for people who have whose housing has sustained limited damage. And we based that mechanism on the flood response measures that were taken in Irkutsk. And you remember that we reported on that. So we proposed to use a similar mechanism so that everyone in that territory is able to make use of this assistance So this will have to be agreed on the government level. Well, thank you. This needs to also cover the Lugansk People's Republic, not only Donetsk People's Republic. Yes, so the mechanism has been used, and it is very effective. Okay, and coming back to Russia, what do you think will be the forecast for this year with regard to housing construction? Well, this year we will have built at least as much as the previous year. Will it be 92? I think it would be 92 to 93 millions, yes, millions of square meters.
Marat Khusnullin, строительная отрасль развивается у нас хорошими темпами. Практически все поставленные задачи.
Mr. Khusnullin, I see that the construction sector is developing steadily. All the targets are being met, and all the decisions that were made as a result of the discussion, as I see, are being implemented. So we'll discuss the results of the first half of the year, and we'll discuss plans for the rest of the year in accordance with the tasks that were formulated during the first planning process.
Хочу сказать огромное спасибо за проведенный госсовет. Мы приняли все ключевые решения и все подготовили все протоколы. Безусловно, это даст нам возможность также последовательно двигаться, как мы двигались последние 2 года, несмотря на все сложности, мы все планы выполняли и перевыполняли, как вы сказали. Мы подготовили целый ряд системных решений, которых, во-первых, уже выполнили, которые нам помогут и в будущем планы выполнять. Начну с жилищного строительства. В прошлом году, вы уже неоднократно говорили, мы достигли рекордного объема ввода жилья, 92,6 миллионов квадратных метров. В этом году могу уверенно сказать, что мы эту планку выполним. Идем по итогам полугодия с превышением. У нас хороший объем ввода. Что меня еще больше всего радует, что на 21